and welcome to Let's Talk About It. It is a Tuesday and a wonderful, beautiful day it is. And I tell you what, we have a great show lined up for you today. Yeah, we're going to talk about it, whatever the topic may be. This is what we do here on Let's Talk About It. And now I want to bring in my special guest. He's going to be with me today, and want to welcome to the show Joshua Midget. Josh, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here, man. Glad to be on Let's Talk About It. The return of Let's Talk About It.
Yes.
Here on Talkback Live Network, man. Glad to be on with Bob on his show again. Critically acclaimed, as they say. As we say, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
So shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all coming in on this Tuesday afternoon.
Yes, and keep coming. And hey, you want to like this and share it.
Yes, sir.
Share it. And Josh, if they'd like to talk to us today by Facebook, they can also call us on Let's Talk About It. The phone number is,
as you can see it on your screen right now, 706-522-9420. That's 706-522. Let's make sure I'm looking at it right here. 522-9420. You'll see it constantly moving on your screen throughout the show today.
Yes, you can call us at that number if you'd like to. Let's talk about it. And I tell you what, Josh, we have a great subject to talk about today. Let me ask a question to you. Not just the black people we're talking to. We were talking to everybody today. I don't care what color you are, nationality, whoever you may be. All right. If you were given a job, you were in slavery like black people were back in the day, and you were given a job to do, is that job, is it good to be in slavery and learn a trade, or is that a way to learn a trade? I guess I'm asking my question right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good way to learn a trade, to be a slave, for black people to be slaves, and that's the way they learn the trade, to do whatever they want to do, but doing it and learning it by being a slave. That's what some people are saying.
That's true.
That, black people should have remained in slavery because they were being educated.
This is a real thing people are saying.
Yeah. So that's our topic today. What do you think about that? And, well, I tell you what, let's talk about it. Well, hey, I tell you what, Governor DeSantis, is that his name?
Yes, sir.
The governor of the state of Florida, where a lot of people want to go in the summertime and get away from the winter states and go to the beach in Miami, South Miami, and all those other places that enjoy what they would love to do in the summertime. Yes, Florida of all the states. Governor DeSantis has made a statement that I think, me personally, it doesn't make sense. It is a racist behavior of the governor, and I'll let you decide what you think on that. Let's talk about it. But before we do that, I want you to take a listen to what the governor said. Josh, how crazy is this?
Yeah, so just so you know, lay the groundwork like Bob did about what's going on here. So the reason we're talking about this question again is because this has been going on over the last few days. The national media, if you've been paying attention, really the last 4 days since Florida has signed this into law, that this is the way they're going to institute teaching Black history. Not just in one school, but the entire state of Florida. All the public schools, colleges, things of that nature. And a lot of people are taking issue with it, especially a lot of us, a lot of Black folks. So I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. We're about to play the clip for you so you can see exactly what we're talking about. But
Right.
feel free to give your thoughts as well, not only by just calling, but also leaving comments as well, and we'll read them and put them on the screen as we go.
Yeah. And I tell you what, let's take a listen to this clip, Josh. How crazy is this? That's my opinion. Well, I want to let you draw your opinion when we take a listen, take a look at this. Watch this.
Here we go.
Now to the growing controversy over Florida's new education standards after Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill called the Stop Woke Act last year. The changes include teaching middle schoolers that some enslaved people actually benefited from slavery because it taught them skills. Nancy Cordes.
Good morning, John. Yes, this debate in the middle of the presidential race.
I do it, and I was involved in it.
Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis tried to distance himself from the curriculum controversy, but it didn't work.
I didn't do it, and I'm not involved in it, are not the words of leadership.
Florida's new history teaching guidelines, approved last week, stem from a 2022 law Governor DeSantis called the Stop Woke Act.
Governor DeSantis started this fire with the bill that he signed.
The new standards say Florida students should be taught about the harsh conditions slaves endured, but also about how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
They're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
That comment drew a swift rebuke from fellow Republican presidential candidate Will Hurd, who tweeted, "Slavery wasn't a jobs program that taught beneficial skills. It was literally dehumanizing." NAACP President Derek Johnson.
We all must stand together as a nation to ensure we don't find ourselves going backwards, that we stand united as a country and not try to remake history.
Two of the authors of the guidelines say they proudly stand behind them and that they were, quote, developed using a methodical process within our work group.
They want to replace history with lies.
The nation's first Black and Asian American vice president traveled to Florida Friday to condemn the new standards in person.
I am deeply concerned. Because let's be clear, I do believe this is not only about the state of Florida. There is a national agenda afoot.
This is likely to come up again when Vice President Harris appears at a Latino conference in Chicago today. Governor DeSantis is defending the new standards, saying they are probably the most robust African-American history standards in the country.
Well, now the governor said he had nothing to do with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had nothing to do with this. This is not anything I'm dealing with. But then it turns around and says he's defending this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how stupid does that? Can't hardly hear myself there. How stupid does that sound? He says, first of all, didn't have anything to do with this. And now he says, he defends it. Folks, what do you think about this? Middle-aged, middle school kids and other kids in school are being taught that slavery and whatever they learned in slavery, they learned a trade, and that Black people would fare better by being in slavery because they learn a trade by being a slave. Come on, don't you think it would be fair for Black people to have the choice to choose what they want to do as far as Black people, whether they want to do that type of thing that they're doing or that job or skill or whatever they want to call it that they were doing, or else if they wanted to do something else. This was forced labor. This was not labor that they wanted to do or they chose to do. This was forced labor pushed up on them, and they had to learn it because it was something they were forced to do. It's not anything like you choose to go to school and you choose a certain thing that you want to do in life. They were forced to do certain things through slavery. And so here, it is a stupid idea to assume that African Americans would be better in slavery, learning a trade in slavery, would fare better.
And you laid it out so well, man. And it's so many things that just really, kind of tick me off about this whole thing. One is that this guy is a leading candidate in the Republican Party for president of the United States. And, I've never been a fan of DeSantis anyway, but this is what makes it so tough, man. And to be a black person in America and you trying to choose, okay, just imagine what you got. Let's look at the landscape for a minute. I ain't gonna go through everybody because there's too many people to name. But just on the surface, you got the incumbent president that is currently there, looking like he's gonna run again, looking older by the day, forgetting people's names, sometimes his own, falling over everybody. Just things of that nature.
Yeah.
Not knocking the age, but it just is what it is. So you got that going on. With gas prices and inflation and everything else that's happening. I'm not saying there's nothing positive going on under Biden, but there's certain things to be real about also.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side, you got this lunatic that's constantly getting charges thrown at him, and Donald Trump as a leading candidate in the Republican Party. That's got to fight court before he can even think about trying to run.
He's a jailbird.
He's constantly in and out. He could,
he could. You want a jailbird for president?
Along with a liar and a manipulator,
and all kinds
a
of
womanizer,
stuff,
a terrible human being.
Yeah,
led an insurrection against his own country, but still has a massive following. Then you got DeSantis, who was a coward, who was a former Trump supporter, till he realized he's got to run against this guy, so he can't be constantly singing his praises while running against him. So now he has suddenly turned against Trump by still upholding a lot of the things that Trump stands for in certain ways. And now DeSantis, with this bill, that he's trying to separate himself from, even though it's a result of his stay woke, anti-woke bill,
which he signed into law.
So I'm just saying, man, you got cowards left and right. And to be honest, even in this video that we just played, you saw former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who he was talking about, and he's a Republican too. He was talking about how DeSantis is a coward, and you can't be saying that this is not my bill or I had nothing to do with it. That's not leadership. I agree with Chris Christie, but guess what? He's also the same man that let Donald Trump call him a fat fool for years to his face while still sitting up on stage and supporting Trump. And letting Trump kick him around like a garbage can for years.
Well, we don't need anybody else like that as president.
I'm just saying,
we don't.
He's a doormat.
I know, but we don't need anybody else like that for president that gets kicked around.
Yeah,
Joe Biden gets kicked around enough by the Soviet Union, by Russia, and China. For goodness sake. So, I mean, we want somebody in there not wearing pink suits and driving pink cars.
I knew that was coming.
Which is salt.
But
we want somebody in there that's going to stand up to world leaders for this nation and be honest and tell the truth for all people. That's who we need in office. Can somebody help me out? Who is that?
That's what I was about to say. Where is he?
There's somebody in this country just not running. Leave your comments. Comments are coming in, and we'll read some of your comments as we go along here.
Absolutely. We may also replay this video. I know some people are still just coming in.
Yeah.
And may not have seen the story that started this issue. We want to play that.
It was good for the black people because it taught them a trade. A trade that they didn't want to do, something they were forced to do that they didn't want to do because they were slaves. How about letting them be able to choose? How about not letting them be slaves and be able to choose what they want to become in life on their own?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the way it should be, and that's the way it is today. But Josh, what's the phone number?
901.
No, 706.
Yeah, man, that is that always comes to my mind automatically. 706-522-9420. 706-522-9420.
This is a mess. Well, one thing I can say about Governor DeSantis, that's probably good. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Okay.
But
here's what that is.
He's at least telling the truth about what he feels.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he's revealing who he is.
Yeah.
He's a coward. He's a racist. I mean, he's just letting us know who he is by his conduct and the way he feels about this whole thing. Now, you can't tell me, folks, that this guy is not a racist. Let's talk about it. Leave your comments. Give us a call. Whatever you want to do. What do you think about this guy as governor of the state of Florida? Terrible. I don't know what the people in Florida should do. I mean, is there anybody else? I mean, hey, vote for pick somebody off the streets or somewhere.
You know, the bad part about it, there was a guy that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That ran against DeSantis. People might remember. He was a black man. I was a young black guy, Andrew Gillum, that ran against DeSantis when DeSantis first won. I think it was when he first won. But anyway, he did an incredible job in the debate against DeSantis. Then it came out that, you know, he was found in a hotel room with drugs and another man.
What?
So that kind of ended his that ended his candidacy. But he was gaining popularity. I liked him, man. I didn't know he had stuff going on like that. But
you never know.
Yeah.
Well.
So.
Oh gosh.
Shout out to y'all coming in. Frankie in the building. What's up? What's good? She said DeSantis is worse than Trump. Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord.
Strong language.
Well, how did she believe that? Well, I don't agree with the racist part there. Frankie, what do you explain yourself there for us?
Okay.
And maybe she's welcome to call in if she'd like. 706-522
9420.
9420 is our number to call if you'd like to call and give your opinion on this particular topic. Let's talk about it, folks. What do you think? We're not going to be here long, just a few minutes, 40 minutes or so on this show, and we'll be gone. But we need your opinion. What do you think? Let's talk about it. Josh, comments coming in?
Yes, sir. What's up, Kelly? Good to see Kelly as well. Out of Arkansas in the building. He just said, simply shaking my head.
Yeah, Jim Strong. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Kelly Reddick. Thanks for watching. Good evening, good people, he says. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, shout out to Leon as well. Leon Mapstone in the building. Good to see you, man.
Wow.
Hope all is well.
Good afternoon, Leon. Back in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah.
There we go. All right, let me play this clip again. I know there's a lot of y'all just coming in.
Tennessee, same thing.
Yeah. We'll play this clip again, and we'll be right back. Y'all take a look at what we're talking about here for those just coming in.
Take a listen, take a look at this, and we'll be back. What do you think?
Growing controversy over Florida's new education standards after Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill called the Stop Woke Act last year. People actually benefited from slavery because it taught them skills. Nancy Cordes is following all of this at the White House. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, John. Yes, this debate may have started in Florida, but it has now landed squarely in the middle of the presidential race.
I didn't do it, and I wasn't involved in it.
Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis tried to distance himself from the curriculum controversy, but it didn't work.
I didn't do it and I'm not involved in it are not the words of leadership.
Florida's new history teaching guidelines, approved last week, stem from a 2022 law Governor DeSantis called the Stop Woke Act.
Governor DeSantis started this fire with the bill that he signed.
The new standards say Florida students should be taught about the harsh conditions slaves endured, but also about how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
They're probably show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
That kind of rebuke fellow Republican presidential candidate Will Hurd, who tweeted, "Slavery wasn't a program that taught beneficial skills. It was literally dehumanizing." NAACP President Derek Johnson.
We all must stand together as a nation to ensure we don't find ourselves going backwards, that we stand united as a country and not try to remake history.
Two of the authors of the guidelines say they proudly stand behind them and that they were, quote, developed using a methodical process within our work group.
They want to replace history with lies.
The nation's first Black and Asian American vice president traveled to Florida Friday to condemn the new standards in person.
I am deeply concerned. Because let's be clear, I do believe this is not only about the state of Florida. There is a national agenda afoot.
This is likely to come up again when Vice President Harris appears at a Latino conference in Chicago today. Governor DeSantis is defending the new standards, saying they are probably the most robust African-American history standards.
Let's talk about it. What do you think?
Happens when the
6? What? 520?
522
522 706 522
9420
9420, or you can leave your comments right here on Facebook, where you're leaving your comments, as a matter of fact.
You know what's funny? I'm just throwing this out there. All that plays, and then what happens? You get a commercial about your prostate. You know what I'm saying? Popping up on the screen, like, come on, man. Ain't trying to see that, but maybe that's how you feel right now. You feel like going to the bathroom after watching a story like that. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Frankie says DeSantis is smart and evil. Wow. Oh, okay. I don't know. This guy, presidential candidate from the state of Florida, if he believes that for the state of Florida, he signed that. What do you think he'll do for the rest of the country if he's made president?
Yeah, that's the whole point. And it's kind of frightening. And this isn't the only thing he's done when it comes to anti-Black standards or against teaching the certain type of teaching when it comes to Black race relations in the United States. This isn't the first time he's come against something like that in Florida. So I'm not really sure why I think I am sure, but this seems to be a major thing he doesn't want to.
Now, some people are saying this. Well, Governor DeSantis is right in one way that what they learned, they could, get a trade out of it. They could learn from it and get a job because of their slavery skills that they learned. Does he have a point?
No.
If they were slaves, what they did, they can now take that skill, or is it a skill? Or I believe it's forced labor,
That's what it is.
But could they learn something from that? And now in life, later in life, like today, they can use that for their benefit as to what they learn. Well, you got to take advantage of everything you learn. However, you learn it, of course. But it doesn't mean that that was good, a good way for them to learn their skills to be able to do things in life because it was forced labor. They were forced to learn something that they probably didn't want to do. They had to do it, and they were forced to do it because of slavery. Yeah. So anyway, your comments are welcome. And hey, this is Let's Talk About It. Josh Midgett is my special guest today. And hey,
real quick. All right. So Stanley, got Stanley here coming through. What's up, Stanley? Good to see you, man. He says, does chopping cotton qualify as a resume skill? Hey, I mean, a lot of folks have done it. Like, I know.
I've done it. I've done it way back in the day. I mean, well, I'm not that old, but you know, I did have a hole, a chopping hole, in my hand, and I did sharpen it with a file, and I did cut down the weeds from around the cotton. I did do that, and I also pulled a little cotton with my hands, you know, and so hey, some of us, you know, didn't have it that way. Some of us didn't have to do that kind of thing. And I did it just because it was available, and you know, we made money out of it. You know, back in the day, they had to do it because they were forced to do it. You know, so I don't know. But at any rate, not saying that was pleasurable. I mean, you know, but it was something to do.
You know, but here's the thing that irks me the most, and some of y'all just coming in, but I said this a little earlier.
Yeah,
like, man. Why does it seem like anything black is negative? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a lot of Republicans, this is the image you start to get from modern conservatives and Republicans. And that's what makes it hard for like real Christian black people. Because, and then I say Christian black folks, because, okay, you look on the one end and you see these things, okay, they're not for abortion. They're not for different things when it comes to homosexuality. Especially being pushed in schools and pushed in other places, right? And you're like, okay, this is good. This is what I want to see. Then on the other end, they just happen to be extremely racist, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, other things as well that are not.
And I'm with you on that.
It makes it so difficult.
It seems like to me that the Republican Party, over the past few years, even though a lot of Democrats didn't like the Republicans that were in office before, but I think they were much better Republican candidates and presidents. They were much better than some of the characters that are running for president today as a Republican candidate.
Yeah.
You don't get those, you can't find those solid Republican candidates today that believe, you know, the way the old Republicans believed it. You just don't see that anymore.
You know what? And to me, what's up, Vicky? Vicky says, welcome back, guys. Hey, y'all. What's up, Vicky?
Hello, Vicky.
Glad she came on before we got left. You know how that goes sometimes. But I appreciate you coming in, Vicky. But yeah, man, I'm like, you know, and people can say what they want. You know, I know it's always been kind of a stigma with the Republican Party, and especially when it comes to race or whatever. But to me, even now, like, I think the Trump era of Republicans has poisoned the well. You get what I'm saying? Because it's become more about this extremist ideals.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just believing this. Now you're pushing the envelope. And anybody that even has a thought that's different than yours is evil. And that you almost need to go to extreme measures to get rid of them. Like you saw on January 6th, was a perfect example of the culmination of this extremist thought from the Trump people. You know, and he knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing.
Okay.
But the problem was, it got so popular that other Republicans that may not even 100% agree with him, they felt they had to fall in line.
Yeah.
Because his population and his popularity was growing so much. If you're a politician, you said, I want some of that.
Mm-hmm.
That Trump base is so big and loud that I think I need to act like Trump a little bit so I can get those votes. So they're willing to sell themselves, essentially.
Okay, the phrase Trump makes all the time,
Mm-hmm.
let's make America great again.
Yeah.
What is he saying?
Well, that's the thing.
Is being great again, is this like Governor DeSantis?
And DeSantis was for Trump. He was all for that.
Yeah.
Now that Trump done bit his head off, now he ain't for him no more. It's funny how that works.
I mean, this controversy that he's in today, as far as this is concerned, seems to me that he is a racist. Is Trump considered a racist? Let's make America great again. What does he mean by that statement? What is making America great again? In what term and terminology and in what timing is he talking about? Is he talking about here what Governor DeSantis is talking about? Slavery? Black people need to be slaves? Let's make America great again. Let's go back to slavery. Is he talking about that? Is he going back that far? Or is he talking about making things cheaper and better like they were in the 70s and early 80s? Things were better. The economy. Is he talking about that? Or is he talking about something much worse than that? What does Trump mean when he says, let's make America great? Is that what he says?
Mm-hmm.
Let's make America great again. I mean, is it really making America great and what he's thinking? He doesn't finish the conversation out when he says, let's make America great again. It stops right there. What does he mean? Donald Trump, Governor DeSantis, and if he makes it president, this will be a tragedy for this nation. Particularly this guy, if he makes for president. And then we have Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Which is...
Oh, Joe, man. You know, you gotta love Joe.
Yeah, Joe needs... Joe...
you gotta love Joe, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Joe needs to go home. Joe needs to go home. You ever see Joe Biden, President Biden, when he says, he's got a conference or he's got to speak somewhere? I mean, he had was it today or yesterday? He spoke somewhere and he came up to the podium. It sounded like he was in the back office and he was sleeping on the couch. And somebody came to him, pushed him, woke him up and said, hey, your turn is next. You're speaking next. It sounded like he struggled out there and half sleep and like he just got off the couch and taken a nap. I mean, Joe is not the guy. Joe has got to go. Come on, say it with me. Joe has got to go. Joe has got to go. Joe has got to go. That's it. Joe has got to go. We can't take no more. Joe has got to go. Yeah.
First of all,
anyway,
look, we love to make protests and rhymes. You know what I'm saying? But look, and I like it. But look, here's the thing, man. The only problem is who you replacing them with.
Yeah.
And let's go to Frank. Got several comments coming in now. Frankie said most of them have bought into this replacement theory that they are being replaced by people of color. That's why a lot of white folks are acting like DeSantis is. That's a very interesting thought. Vicky says you can put lipstick on a pig and it's still a pig.
Oh.
The covers are off. We see and know them by the way they think.
Wow.
And we got Stanley, who came through and
Hello,
said,
Stanley.
Who did second comment here, he says the well was poisoned all the time. Trump just made it come out. Oh, okay. So he's saying it was always poison. Trump just exposed the poison for what it is. It's a good point.
You mean on all the other candidates before him? Or?
We're
talking about the candidates now. Okay, go ahead.
Frankie says the replacement theory is one of the main reasons they want to outlaw abortions. Well, here's the thing. Now, I know, and I've heard this thought, right, about replacement theory and abortions, meaning they want to outlaw abortions because so many white people are getting abortions. and they feel like that's going to lower the population and raise the population of the other communities like Black communities and Latina communities, which are growing. Really, to be honest with you, though, if you look at the numbers, the Latino community is growing much more than the African American community in this country at a rate. I'm not saying necessarily dangerous, but if it's dangerous if you want to fall to third, because one, the way we're killing each other on top of the abortions, which are a lot less because of the different laws that have been passed. So, you say that here or there, but to me, if you look at history, Black folks have been the biggest, people that have suffered historically with abortions rather than other people.
Yeah,
not that white folks ain't getting abortions, because they're just as comfortable with it as well.
Yeah,
just like a lot of people have been uncomfortably okay with it.
Yeah, but the majority of the abortions are being done by Black people, and Black people not being educated about it. Yeah. Okay.
So but I get what you're saying now. Let's see. Vicky says we know what it is, Bobby. Just like when you were talking earlier.
Yeah.
So he wants to put people of color in their place. That's what it means. As far as make America great again.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, there's a lot coming in. Just reading the last few here. Frankie says, I asked some white associates, what time frame is Trump referring to when he said, let's make America great again? I've never received an answer.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Even Trump don't want to give the answer. Let's make America great again. How? What do you mean? It stops right there. What does he mean? Okay. All right.
And I think he's smart enough, crazy to say, I think he's smart enough to leave it open.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the racists take that as, we know what you mean. We want to get rid of these Negroes and these other folks. That's what it means. Put them in their place. That's what Trump means. He's letting them take their own definition. And he's not going to say it's,
Well, now, do you think it's possible, Governor DeSantis, if he becomes president, to sign a law into effect nationwide like he did in the state of Florida? I don't think it'll work.
Well,
I just don't think it'll work.
True. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna throw this at you.
It'll start a war, if anything.
I agree, but let me throw this at you because I was trying to find this and I found it. Earlier this year, Governor DeSantis also signed a bill proposed banning diversity and inclusion initiatives at all Florida universities. He intends to ban state universities from spending money on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in hopes that they will wither on the vine without funding. That was a top priority for his education agenda this year.
Meaning?
So, check it out. Now,
no more mixing?
That's what makes you wonder, like, why? So, he said in the press release, just reading from the story, about the announced legislation, the governor's office called diversity, equity, and inclusion programs discriminatory. So, what he's saying is that these diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are discriminating against white people. By focusing on other folks.
By not letting white people have their way by keeping Negroes out.
And you wouldn't need this diversity, equity.
Or anybody else for that matter.
You wouldn't need this diversity, equity, and inclusion programs if it wasn't for the fact that white folks keeping other folks out of these universities. So that's crazy. And then what's so crazy to show that there's a whole initiative going on with the Republican Party. After that, months after that, what happens with the Supreme Court? They get rid of affirmative action, which is basically the same thing DeSantis was doing in Florida. So now, according to the Supreme Court, it was basically prejudiced by these schools and universities to have affirmative action focused on helping black folks get into college and stuff like that. They're saying that's prejudiced. So they get rid of it to remove the prejudice that was supposed to remove. So they don't work backwards. And so the Supreme Court is working the same way DeSantis is. So clearly, to agree with Kamala Harris in some aspect, no matter how you may think, and no matter how she did, look kind of like a drunk woman up there when she's talking. I agree with what she's saying in the fact that it's clearly an agenda going on. And it's a dangerous agenda. Why does it keep happening? What are we really trying to do here? Is there an agenda against black folks, against anybody that's not white, but they're trying to frame it as inclusion? I got a problem with that.
Well, you know, and I have a problem. Well, we're going to get ready to close our show for today. Let's talk about it, and hey, we'll do this show more often. And tell you what, I have another problem with Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
It says that he has selected the first black woman, black woman, to be vice president. Kamala, was that her name? Kamala Harris? She is not black. She is not black. He had other black women he could have chose that we, as black people, would have known. Now she's black, but he didn't choose them. He chose Kamala Harris because if you look through her past and her background, she is not black.
Yeah, I think, it kind of, at least in my opinion, y'all can think what you want to think about that. I think they kind of went through some.
Did he overlook the black?
No.
And look at her. She looks black and say, okay, this will pass.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
Okay.
It's like, I'm trying to see how they describe it. It's not like Black American. Because she has Asian American and African American. I think what they mean is not necessarily Black American. I think it's some other nationality that can be considered black. If I'm not mistaken, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. There's some type of, I don't know if I want to say loophole in that, but
then not only
she's
that,
not like full blooded.
And not only that, she's not even in the black family nowhere. She chose, and not even being black, she even was married to a white guy.
Yeah, and that's her choice.
I mean, that's her choice, but I'm saying, who did Biden really choose when he said he wanted a black woman for vice president? She is not black. And that was a slick move on the part of Joe.
Well, it's the Asian Black American, says Stanley. Asian Black American. So that's the mix.
Yeah.
The mixology.
Oh, went around the world and then came back. Okay, I got you. Okay.
I understand, man. But look, that's a whole other topic anyway.
That's another whole topic all about.
Yeah, as Vicky said, not today, Bobby.
Vicky.
Hey, let's see. So we got a lot of stuff going on, man. Frankie says, well, the first one she put there, attempting to whitewash Black history. If we are not careful, a couple of generations from now, Black children will not know anything about our history.
We need to be taught Black history. And about slavery. Why?
Yeah.
What went on? It's very important that the Black people know and the children know about what happened.
So, quick question, y'all that are watching. Do you feel like the black kids now, like that are coming up, do you feel like they know enough about their history in this country, about the racism? Because we know, right? I know my generation, I'm 30.
Yeah, but
I'm worried about those behind us. Yeah.
Right, we're steadily getting older.
Yeah.
And if you don't pass it on, then it will eventually fade.
Yeah.
It'll go away. You won't learn about it. People and Black kids won't even know. Okay?
And it makes you wonder, is that the agenda, just like Frankie said?
Yeah.
They're trying to whitewash it away,
Mm-hmm.
And again, people need to know, man. That's why we're here talking about these things, what's actively happening. Because if you just kind of say it, and people generally will look at this like, oh, that's not happening. It's not as bad as you think. I think it is as bad as we think. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to be active in fighting against it. So, Now Frankie says, let me see.
Yeah, I see her comment.
Yeah.
Thanks, Frankie, for your comment. I really do. I appreciate Frankie.
Yeah. Which is, and that could be a show in itself what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There. A lot of Black people have mixed heritage. She went to an HBCU, said, be careful. Black men marry women of different race much more than Black women, especially Black men with money.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that another time.
I mean, especially you're talking about the athletes. I keep seeing them, man, getting married and white girl after white girl.
Yeah,
it's an interesting.
But see, here's the problem.
Interesting fact.
Here's the problem with a lot of black guys marrying black women that are rich. They say that a black woman, when you're married to a black woman, she raises too much cane. You know, she tried to sue, tried to take everything you got. A white woman comes in and appreciates the money that the black man has as a rich black man, as an athlete, whoever he be, wherever he gets his money.
And I'm going to tell you.
And so they say, black men say that the white women are more submissive to the authority of the black man. Now, that's another topic altogether. See, y'all, you're letting me, you're telling me to let's talk about it, but I'm not wanting to talk about that today.
You know, that sounds like another let's talk about it topic for the future.
Anyway.
And one quick thing on that.
Okay.
Just, I ain't going to go too deep.
And we'll get ready to close. Yeah.
One quick response.
Yeah.
That's true, but here's the thing. And Vicky says LeBron's married to a black woman. He's one of the few. And they got a great relationship.
Yeah.
He met her in high school.
Right.
She stayed with him all through everything. And they both are reaping the benefits.
Right. And I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Now, real quick.
I have no problem with that at all.
Real quick. Be careful, because don't think these white girls ain't being groomed to hitch on to a black athlete either.
Oh, yeah.
Don't think they don't know what they're doing.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
And don't think when you see them on the news and something done happened and she done got half of that money.
Half of it.
If not more.
But
shout out to Tiger Woods. But anyway. Tiger don't think he's black, so hey.
Yeah, well. Anyway, hey.
Tiger's mixed with Asian too, so there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
But he's you know, he's got black. His father is black.
Yeah, his father's black.
So
yeah.
you were black American, so you know he's Negro to the bone.
Yeah.
He is.
Whether he likes it or not. Right?
Whether he likes it or not, yeah.
Jet said, what in the Dr. Umar Johnson is going on here? Shout out to Dr. Umar, who's tells us to run from the snow bunnies. That's a real guy. Dr.
Snow
Umar.
bunnies?
Yeah, that's the white women.
Oh,
okay.
Snow bunnies. All right. You know I'm older. So you have to let me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Johnson.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Okay. Hey, it's been a wonderful show today, and thanks for all your comments and all of you that have checked in with us. My goodness.
Hey, the numbers are going up as we get ready to leave. Hey, real quick.
What did Jet say?
Real quick. I just read that.
Okay, Dr. Okay. Yeah.
Real quick. Because I did just read that. Now, here's the thing, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all that are watching, I appreciate it so much. Hit that like button if you're watching, because we got 2 likes and we got more than that watching. So hit that like button. It'd greatly appreciate it. Also, share this video even as we get ready to go.
Yeah.
It is greatly appreciated. Jet, real quick, I'm curious your thoughts on DeSantis. Do you feel like there is a true attempt to erase Black history from this country by a certain party or by everybody? What do you think?
Well, Jet can't vote for that. Can't say yes on that. I mean, we've got to get our reparations. You know, well, some blacks believe that we should get reparations, and some blacks believe that we should forget it and move on. Everybody else is getting it, Jet says. Why not give black people reparations and pay us for what you owe us for not being able to get an education? You stole from us. Yes.
Yeah, anyway. Look, I'm agreeing with you. I think that all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And real quick, tell me, if a person is not racist, why would they feel comfortable in changing the way Black history is taught in schools to the point where trying to frame slavery as something as a benefit to how Black people were able to get jobs later on? Yeah. Even though they tried to make that hard as well after slavery with Jim Crow laws and things of that nature. Let's not forget about that. Why would Governor DeSantis in the past sign a bill banning diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at universities? Why is he focused on mainly the educational system and making it harder for blacks to not only go to school, but and also to learn Black history in the right way.
Yeah.
Why is this a focus? Why is this a focus of the mostly Republican Supreme Court to get rid of affirmative action? Why is that a focus? Clarence Thomas? Why is that a focus?
We better, folk, pay attention to what's going on, and you better learn what's going on as well, and stop all of the craziness, Black folk killing each other and blaming each other and doing away with each other. And then while Black people are doing the crazy stuff, killing each other, then the other people on the outside are out there voting and making rules and plans
and coming together and doing
against the Black race to keep you down. You need to pay attention and watch what is going on. Okay, Josh. Hey, I'm going to have to close it right there.
Yes, sir.
On this edition of Let's Talk About It. Thanks for all of you that were listening and came in and your comments. And all of you that left comments and that you watched us today. Hey, it's been a pleasure. And again, thanks to my special guest, Josh Midgett, for joining me today on Let's Talk About It. We'll get special guests from time to time to come on. We'll have different topics, so stay tuned. Again, here in the very, very near future for another edition of Let's Talk About It. Folks, it's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful day today. Be careful out there and watch for the other fellow and be friendly as you go your way. And we'll talk about it again on Let's Talk About It. Have a wonderful day.